Good evening, and thanks so much for being with me tonight on India Matters. I come to you live from Bengaluru because this beautiful city is now ground zero of one of the most fearsome political battles of the year. It started with Rahul Gandhi dropping what he called an atom bomb in the form of a presentation where he said he has found a smoking gun on voter rigging and electoral malpractice by the Election Commission. What it has triggered is numbers, facts, figures that the BJP says is completely flimsy. The Election Commission has asked Rahul Gandhi to put his money where his mouth is, take an oath, and put all his evidence on paper. Rahul Gandhi was here in Bengaluru earlier today to take the fight forward. But as things escalate, the question now is, will this remain just a political to and fro and a crossfire, or could this get much bigger?
टाइम लगेगा मगर हम आपको पकड़ेंगे एक-एक करके पकड़ेंगे.
Rahul Gandhi renewed his attack on the Election Commission in Bengaluru. Brandishing the now ubiquitous red copy of the Constitution, the Congress MP escalated his charge on the poll panel.
आपने मेरा कल प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस देखा होगा, उसमें हमने 100% साबित कर दिया है कि इलेक्शन कमीशन और बीजेपी ने मिलकर आपसे कर्नाटका से लोकसभा चुराई है. एक ना एक दिन आपको ऑपोजिशन का सामना करना पड़ेगा.
In his vote theft presentation on Thursday in Delhi, Rahul Gandhi had claimed massive irregularities in the Karnataka list. The big focus of Rahul's attack was the Bangalore Central constituency, where he alleged 1,250,000 votes were stolen, 11,965 duplicate voters, 40,009 fake and invalid addresses, 4,132 invalid photos, and 33,692 cases of misuse of Form 6.
What is happening today in Bihar, that should happen throughout the country. So if there is any confusion, everything will get clarified. And I feel even in Amethi also, this same kind of an exercise, what is happening in Bihar, that should happen even in Amethi also. So Rahul Gandhi will know the knowledge of his own constituency also.
I would like to say what our leader has put out yesterday is a genuine data. It's a data obtained through RTI. And he has explained now the Election Commission needs to answer to what the anomaly is. The onus of having a clean electoral roll is with the Election Commission.
But did Rahul really drop a bomb, or was it all bombast? Some names claimed by the Congress MP as fake voters in Bengaluru have turned out to be bona fide voters.
80 voters live in this house.
Gandhi also alleged that 80 voters were registered at a single address. The brother of the owner of that home has clarified that the 10 by 12 room is home to migrant voters who get ID cards to land jobs.
Yeah, this is the actually labor shed here.
Okay.
सभी आदमी उधर ही लेबर ज्यादा है, सॉफ्टवेयर का आदमी है, लेबर का आदमी है इधर.
Okay.
The Congress MP cancelled his visit to the Karnataka Election Commission office. The state poll body has asked Rahul to furnish a declaration proving his charges or apologize. With Deepak Bopanna in Bengaluru, NDTV Bureau Report.
1 करोड़ नए लोग जिन्होंने लोकसभा में अपना वोट नहीं डाला था, जादू से ये विधानसभा में वोट डालने निकल आए. और जहां भी ये नए वोटर आए, वहां पर बीजेपी चुनाव जीती. और सारे के सारे जो वोटर बढ़ाए गए, वो बीजेपी के खाते में गए. क्या सचमुच हम ये सीटें हारे थे? चुनाव आयोग से हम वोटर लिस्ट मांगते थे, इलेक्ट्रॉनिक सॉफ्ट कॉपी वोटर लिस्ट की मांगते थे, वो मना कर देते. महादेवापुरा में 6.5 लाख वोट हैं असेंबली में.
ಮಹದೇವಪುರ ಮತಕ್ಷೇತ್ರದಲ್ಲಿ 6.5 ಲಕ್ಷ मतಗಳಿವೆ.
और उसमें से 1,250,000 वोट चोरी किए गए हैं. डुप्लीकेट वोटर मतलब एक वोटर अनेक बार वोटिंग कर रहा है.
राहुल गांधी ने नॉर्थ इंडियन का नाम निकाल के लेके आया है, लेकिन हमारा असम में अगर आप थोड़ा कोशिश करें, आप देखेगा हमारा असम का बांग्लादेशी और जो एक समय बांग्लादेश से आया था हमारा मियां मुसलमान भाई, वो लोगों का वोटर लिस्ट का नाम बरपेटा में भी होता है, गुवाहाटी में भी होता है, केरला में भी होता है, पूरा दुनिया में होता है. तो इस दिल्ली में भी होते हैं। तो इसीलिए ये बीमार है और ये बीमार को ठीक करने के लिए ही बिहार में स्पेशल इंटेंसिव रिवीजन दिया गया था और राहुल गांधी ने आज इनडायरेक्टली इलेक्शन कमीशन को सपोर्ट किया कि ये देश में स्पेशल इंटेंसिव रिवीजन होना चाहिए, दो नाम में वोटर लिस्ट में नाम नहीं होना चाहिए।
मुझसे इलेक्शन कमीशन एफिडेविट मांगता है, मुझसे कहता है कि मुझे ओथ लेना है। मैंने पार्लियामेंट के सामने, पार्लियामेंट के अंदर ओथ लिया है, इस संविधान के सामने ओथ लिया है, इस पर हाथ डाल के वोट लिया है, क्योंकि वो जानते हैं कि अगर हिंदुस्तान की जनता ने इसी डेटा को लेकर सवाल पूछना शुरू कर दिया तो उनका पूरा ढांचा कोलैप्स कर जाएगा।
लेकिन ये देखना चाहिए कि एक प्रतिपक्ष की पार्टी चुनाव हारने के बाद किस तरह लगातार तथ्यों के आधार पर झूठ का काम कर रही है। लेकिन अगर उनको आपत्ति है तो कोई फॉर्मल एविडेंस किसी ओथ पे उन्होंने दी हो। इलेक्शन कमीशन में ऐसा नहीं है। उन्होंने एक बार एफिडेविट फाइल करा था सुप्रीम कोर्ट में, बाद में माफी मांग करके आए थे।
As the story gets bigger by the minute, and before we debate, the big questions we're asking on India Matters. Number one, why doesn't Rahul Gandhi give that declaration under oath and force the Election Commission to take his facts and figures and actually conduct a probe? That's the biggest question. Number two, why hasn't Rahul, at least so far, approached the Supreme Court with proof that he's put out into the public domain? Will the charges, like I said, lead to a substantial inquiry, or will it just be political spectacle? The issue is tracking among voters on the ground. Is that going to force an inquiry? And finally, how can bogus voters be removed more effectively? Will this lead to a larger trigger for electoral voter list reform in the country? And the Vidhan Sauda perhaps provides the most amazing and appropriate backdrop for what is turning out to be a big political face-off between the two principal parties of the country. And that's why tonight on India Matters, we have a very special lineup of guests right here in this special broadcast from Bengaluru. A.S. Ponnanna is Congress MLA, legal advisor to the Chief Minister. He's been at the forefront of what's been happening. Rahul Gandhi was here earlier today to take his fight forward. R.K. Upadhyay, well-known political analyst. Anand Gurumurthy represents the opposition BJP. Deepak Bopanna is, of course, our crack reporter here in Bengaluru. And Syed Asad Abbas is also a political analyst. He leans towards the Congress. Mr. Ponnanna, thanks again to all of you for being here. Rahul Gandhi was here today. His press conference yesterday putting out the most detailed information about what he alleges is large-scale voter fraud, rigging, multiple IDs, fake voters in lists, etc., has been thrown out of the window in some ways by the BJP. The BJP, the Election Commission say, put your money where your mouth is, take an oath and put this information on paper. Rahul Gandhi says, I'm a politician, my word is my oath. What is the Congress planning to do right now? Is it going to remain in the political sphere, or is it going to move to courts or documents?
See, the way forward is something that we are still discussing. Obviously, this is going to continue in the political realm for now and continue till we reach a logical conclusion to this issue. But what is fundamental is free and fair elections require a very clean voter list. And what Rahul Gandhi ji has now raised are very pertinent questions with regard to misuse of the voters list. And in this process, he has brought it out with very substantial documentation. It's not that he's just thrown out something in the air. So he has specifically pointed out to each of his 5 allegations, for example, with Form C misuse. It says new voters being entered when they are in the age group of 70, 65. Yeah. Multiple entries made or bulk entries in one house. Non-existing addresses. These are all brought out with facts and with figures. They are born out of data given by the Election Commission of India. To throw out this kind of material in a democratic setup that we believe in is most inappropriate and a travesty of justice, if you ask me. See, rule of law requires that the Election Commission, which is a constitutional body, absolutely independent from any interference, political or otherwise, or even executive interference, should come clean. It is our job as the opposition to raise these questions, and as long as it is backed with evidence, it is for the Election Commission to come clean with this issue to say that you come on vote is the most inappropriate reply to what Rahul Gandhi has raised.
So the Congress says the replies from the Election Commission, Anand, and the BJP in particular are inappropriate. They are not addressing the main issue, which is that Rahul Gandhi has put out specific verifiable data. Why not address it head on, factually, point by point, rather than point at him and say, sign these papers, or that you're going back to an old issue of unreliability of some electoral data, etc. Why not go head to head with his facts?
See, head to head, we are going to head toe. Actually, BJP at the national level is going head to toe. If you see, observe the Bihar election, the SIR is happening. This has happened multiple times in our country. The intensive revision has happened multiple times, and SIR, it's being guided by even Supreme Court now, saying that okay, you can go ahead, okay, with some other changes which they have done, but that's still okay. But what is important is the electoral processes in this country has acceptance of people to a great extent, and even international forums which monitor elections say that Indian election is one of the best conducted, and somebody is questioning that in a very illogical way.
But he's the leader of the opposition.
He may be the leader of the opposition because some people are backing him, and that is fair enough, acceptable in democracy. But why is he giving illogical statements? He's showing data which has been disproven by so many of our MPs and MLAs. They are clearly telling, okay, there are some houses are numbered as 0. There are some places where there might be no numbers to houses. It might be a small settlement.
R.K. Upadhyay, do the facts that Rahul Gandhi has put out, many people, I don't want to get into this ecosystem versus ecosystem business, because let's talk facts now. Many reasonable people who don't have any political leanings say Rahul Gandhi's information should be inspected. It should be, if it is false, it should be rebutted fact on fact. Remove all the acting, histrionics, drama, tutu meme, etc. that usually exists between the Congress and the BJP, and go fact to facts. And if he's wrong, then he will look bad for it. Yeah. What are you saying about the facts?
No, see, obviously, he's making huge allegations, and he should have put out in the public domain. If this fraud has happened, it's really unfortunate. It's such a huge fraud as the Congress claims. Why haven't they put it out in the public domain? I don't know. They held a press conference in Delhi. I don't know whether it was given to each and every journalist there. I'm not aware of it. If they have, but they should. Okay. Number 2, they held a major meeting here in Bangalore, and they should have distributed some copies. We as journalists would like to see what these facts are. What is that he's relying on? Okay. The number 2 I want to say is, look, the Election Commission does the revision every other time that is required to be done. So this was done in January 2024. Okay, soon after the 2023 Assembly elections. So there have been 2 elections which have been held in the last 2 years, and then the Election Commission has come with the draft data as well as the final rolls, and all of them are given to all political parties and the public.
So you're saying that the Congress has had enough time to look at the rolls and could have raised this before, but Team Rahul has said that this has been an exercise that has taken 6 months. They've clarified on that point.
No, okay, but then January 24 it was put out. So the elections happened in May. What were you doing till then?
Okay.
And then it's 1 year since the elections happened. What have you been doing for the last 1 year? And you claim, 1 lakh votes are fake votes. I'll tell you, Mahadevpura they taken up. Mahadevpura has 6.59 lakh voters. Okay, that's one segment of the parliamentary, central, Bangalore Central. Out of that, 5.31 lakh voters voted. Okay, this is the voting percentage that happened.
Okay.
And then, how you say 1 lakh voters are fake? So
okay.
Is that a possibility?
Mr. Ponnanna, let me come to you on that. Are any of those facts arguable? Point number one.
Let us be clear.
Yeah.
We are dealing with facts. We are dealing with material which is based on data obtained from the Election Commission of India. Rahulji yesterday pointed out the voluminous nature of the documents that we had to go through.
That's why it took so long.
It took so long. We had to go page by page, compare it, and what is the material that we have come up with. We have shown, for example, in a house which is a single bedroom house, 50 voters are registered. It's not possible. So to just beat it with rhetoric, it doesn't work. This is not just about politics. This is about, the question is a challenge to the biggest democratic nation in the country. Okay. So we believe in democracy. We have gone on with this democratic process for the last 75 years. We want it to be as clean as it gets.
Okay.
So I do not know, I don't understand why the BJP is reacting to it. My friend says that the BJP MPs have said something. Okay, it's not about BJP MP versus Congress MP. The question is to the Election Commission of India.
Okay.
The question is, look, here is this data which says that these voters are not valid. and this is numbering to a large number in one constituency.
Okay.
You have not given us the material that we wanted in digital form. Well, fair enough. We have pointed out this to you. Come clean with it.
Okay.
And what is the Election Commission saying?
Can you clarify one thing for us, Mr. Ponnana, which has become now the kind of sticking point between the BJP and the Congress, which is about the Election Commission do this with documentation on oath. That has not happened. Rahul Gandhi has replied by saying, I'm a politician, everything I say is on oath. It has become a semantics kind of war between the two sides. As a lawyer as well, can you explain why that is not happening? What is the big deal in taking to documents and going under oath on these allegations? Is that an issue?
No. See, it is not about whether he can go on oath or not. The question is larger than that. The question is, why is the Election Commission, which is to be an independent body, behaving like the spokesperson of the BJP? Why are they coming out with an answer that you come on oath? If I send them a representation on post, they are supposed to reply to me, right? They are the administration, they are the authority. They are the ones responsible for this. So people in responsible positions must respond. They must respond. Number one. Number two, in response to what Mr. Upadhyaya said, yesterday's press conference was perhaps one of the finest that I have seen, personally, to tell you. And he has come out with data, statistics, complete report with a digital presentation. It does not look like he has seen it. But we have given a digital presentation along with the entire records to the media. And the press, if you see the newspapers today, everybody has reported in
on the issue. The thing about this detailed presentation is also, Deepak, and you've been reporting it, he was there today in fact, is that some nuggets from this presentation have become bigger headlines. One of them is one particular voter named Aditya Srivastav in UP. The other is these 80 people in one household. As a reporter, we have the politicians here and they will hopefully argue on facts. The Congress is saying let's argue on facts. The BJP says these facts are too flimsy to argue with at all. The EC says come on oath. As a reporter on the ground, can you explain this to us? The 80 people in that house, how does it work? Where did this come from?
Well, Shiv, this is quite interesting because now over the years, whenever people have voted, they've probably figured this out, that there is one issue or the other. When a person goes to one booth, maybe his name is missing, he goes to the other booth, finds his name mentioned there. So these are issues that are there. But one aspect that everyone should note here is that the electoral rolls are given to the candidates, to the agents at the booth. So they have it even before the election is happening. So if there are discrepancies, they have that point to actually, bring it out then. Now, as far as this 80 people in one house, I have spoken to the owner, I have spoken to the owner's brother. Let me tell you here, now he says that this is a 10 by 12 or 10 by 15 square feet house. So this is not where a family lives. These are migrants who come here, who get small jobs as housekeeping staff or in the construction business. They've been staying in Bengaluru for 6 months, 1 year. So whenever they stay in a house like this, they get a rental agreement. The rental agreement is used to make a voter ID, and a voter ID is used to make other documentation through which they get employment. So for the Congress to say, well, there were 80 people in one address may be true because there are multiple people over the last 15 years who've been occupying this as tenants. Now, these tenants get rental agreements become voter IDs.
Yeah.
Are these voter IDs actually resulting in them voting is the big question, because that is what needs to be proved. That is not something that has been proved. Yes, they have probably pointed out that multiple people have the same address, but are these multiple people actually casting the vote? Because that results in a fraud.
So who is the onus on to disprove that?
Well, the Congress definitely has to prove that. The Election Commission also has to look into these aspects of how do they really cut down these sort of possibilities where multiple rental agreements, do they actually discard the older people on the same address? So does the EC have that much of manpower on the ground is a question, but it's the onus is on the Congress to of course prove that these were people who actually went there and casted the vote.
Okay. Onus is on the Congress party. Do you agree with that? The BJP says if you're making all these allegations, the Election Commission also vicariously saying if you're making all these allegations, give us something to work with. You can't be firing in the air and expecting a full investigation into it.
I think over the last 6 months, Rahul Gandhi has done enough. Him and his team, they have enough evidence, data collected. So I definitely think that they should submit the same to the Election Commission of India. What I believe is, if there is great power, there is responsibility, there is accountability. Accountability on the Congress end to furnish these documents, collected evidence to the Election Commission of India and the ECI to take action. We are standing here right in front of Vidhan Sauda, which is the Bangalore Central constituencies. Let me quickly give you this case study. Congress versus BJP. 7 assembly constituencies. 6 won by Congress. Only 1 won by the BJP candidate. Out of what? You have 1 lakh fake votes. I have the data with me as per shared by Rahul Gandhi ji. 11,900 are duplicate votes, 40,000 are fake votes, 10,000 bulk votes, 4,000 invalid photos, and 33,000 where the 6A form has been misused for new voters. This, had it been done a fair election, the Congress candidate would have won. Boon boon se Mahasagar banta hai. I think every candidate matters.
But is it really that clear? Is it really that clear? We don't know. This is data that's been put out, but we don't know who those people may or may not.
That's a fair question. So let there be a full-fledged investigation.
Yes, Anand.
See, basically,
Anand,
I just want to make one point here. 2023 election data, if it takes up, guarantee scheme, Congress got more number of MLA seats. Okay. But 2024 election, that's Modi's popularity there. And here, it's always been, Bangalore Central and other places in Bangalore, most of the seats go to the BJP. And these kind of flimsy arguments, how many arguments can we do? Every time they lose, they say the voting machine is wrong. Okay, every time, a good happening like the SIR which is happening in Bihar happens, they say this system should not exist there. There, Tejaswini Yadav says that this should not be done. And here the Indie-Bok Alliance Congress guy says that it has to be done. So this is kind of, attacking the entire democracy of India.
So, they are picked on Mahadevpura. For the, Congress spokesperson's information, 4 assembly elections they won continuously. And in the 4 Lok Sabha
That's what the BJP has put out.
Yes,
the data.
In the 4 Lok Sabha elections, BJP has had a substantial lead. So this is Mahadevpura. Okay. And secondly, they claim there was 10,452 voters in single address, 40,009 voters who had no address, 0 or fake address, and then 30,692 first-time voters who were given as 95 years, 98 years and all that. So you are claiming there are around 1 lakh voters in Mahadevpura alone are fake?
It's become specific, Mr. Ponnanna.
Out of 6.59 voters, 3.51 voted.
Is the beginnings of, addressing the facts that have been put out by Rahul Gandhi. Mahadevpura has become the emotive issue because it has become very specific to these constituencies. How would you respond to this data?
Let's be clear on certain things. Mahadevpura is chosen as one of the constituencies.
Yeah. But there are more, you're saying.
There are more. Obviously, there are more. And everybody must admit that electoral rolls needs some reforms. There is no doubt, two ways about it. Now, when it materially affects the result of an election, is when democracy is under real threat. So the question that remains is, what we have thrown out in public domain, and now what we have given the Election Commission in the state of Karnataka, is substantiated by sufficient data to commence at least an inquiry into the issue. Now, why are we arguing on these points as if we have gone there and inquired? Now Rahul Gandhi ji says, house number 0. Father's name is some XYZ. Does not even have a name. House number cannot be 0. You have given him a voter's ID. What is the basic requirement to be a voter? Is he should be a common resident of that area. Now, with an agreement of 11 months, can you be registered as a voter, even if you go with what Deepak says? You can't justify things by saying that there is a one-bedroom house. Labor would come, work and go away, so we given them voter's ID. The next group comes. No, that's not justification to this. This is a real substantiated allegation, and Election Commission, in all fairness, and I don't speak as a congressman, but in all fairness as a constitutional institution responsible for protecting the democracy of this country, should have come out and said, look, we will look into this issue, we will inquire. The way they are defending, it looks like they are trying to protect.
So Anand, I was driving around in Bengaluru today, and there are many Congress posters saying it is not the Election Commission, it's the BJP Commission. EC does not take any decisions without getting it cleared by the BJP High Command. The attempt to paint the EC as an organ of the BJP is very clear. That's been going on for a while. In light of the fact that this is an elaborate press conference and data that's been put out by Rahul Gandhi, damaging if it is true. You're saying it's not true, it's flimsy, it's nonsense, it's rubbish. By virtue of the fact that he is the leader of the opposition, he's not just Rahul Gandhi anymore. The BJP has tried to brand Rahul Gandhi in many ways, we know that. But he's a leader of the opposition. Giving respect to his position alone, shouldn't the default response have been, not so much to ridicule, but to say, okay, we know you are wrong, let's take all your facts and we will make you look even more foolish by inquiring about it and making you look wrong. That should have been the answer then.
No, basically between 2004 and 2014, he even tore up one of this thing by the cabinet of Manmohan Singh ji. He tore that up, okay, when Manmohan Singh ji was in USA. So this kind of behavior has always been, there. But that's not a thing.
But he's no longer just Rahul Gandhi.
No. Whatever it is, whatever it is. Okay. The basic thing is, yes, I'll answer that, sir. The basic thing is he's talking about certain things like EC is with BJP, ED is with BJP, CBI is with BJP. Whenever he is questioned or some of the corruption issues that his family has done is questioned, immediately he has these kind of things, okay, which is questioning the essence of this country, the democracy of this country, which is totally wrong. So answer should be given in the way the question is asked. This person has repeatedly asked questions which are downright questioning certain things which are accepted in this country, believed in this country. And in the last 11 years, what Mr. Rahul Gandhi can't digest is this country has become truly democratic. The institutions are working independently, whether it is EC, ED, CBI, they are working independently. They are trying to convict criminals. They are trying to ensure that the elections are very fair enough. So this is something which Mr. Rahul Gandhi can't digest because he has never seen that kind of an environment when Congress was ruling.
Do you think there should be an inquiry by the Election Commission?
Absolutely.
A basic inquiry, look into the facts? Or none at all? Let it remain in the political sphere?
Absolutely, there has to be an inquiry. If there is any truth in it, it has to come out. My point is, why can't the Congress party own it up? You must take the responsibility of what you're putting out in the public. You can't just, put it in the public meeting and say, look, this is it, and then you find out what the truth is. Why can't they own it up? They are giving very specific figures. 10,032.
So what are you saying? No, what are you saying? Rahul Gandhi should go to court is what you're saying?
Either he should go to court or both you should tell the Election Commission these are the facts that we have collected and he should be able to back it up. Whatever facts you are putting out, you should be able to back it up.
Syed, you're a Congress supporter. Should Rahul Gandhi go to court, put his money where his mouth is, proverbially speaking, and say, I've made this powerful presentation, I've put out all these facts, you've heard what Mr. Ponnanna has also said. Let's go to court and finish this.
Definitely, why not? I think it should be a Supreme Court ordered and monitored investigation on this because people like us who are voters of this constituency cannot afford to lose faith in the Election Commission of India. We've seen judgments, we've seen observations on the CBI, ED, IT from Supreme Court as caged parrots, but this time it is serious. I'll tell you, I was watching a video of Rahul Gandhi. There are about 80 to 100 voters. In the address you see zero. कहाँ रहते हैं ये? Zero. कहाँ है zero? ना ज़मीन पे ना आसमान पे. Where? And the names ASDF, GHIJK. What kind of names are this? This really questions. And my simple question as a voter, why don't we have a digital voter list? Why so many papers? Papers which are 7 feet tall.
That is a policy issue.
I think that
I take your point.
When Modi ji says digital India, there needs to be a digital voter.
If we start talking about reforms in election process in general, then we will have to be here probably all night because there are many things to be done. Because one of the interesting things, even in this debate, and you have also seen it, is because some are saying that the anomalies which have been pre-existent in our voter list processes are now being amplified to look like large-scale fraud by Rahul Gandhi.
Just one
But
quick point.
Quick.
Yeah, quick. We say Modi hai to mumkin hai. If it is digital India, why not digital voter list?
Okay.
It's a need of the hour. I think Modi ji can do it.
Deepak, given the current kind of hostility levels between the BJP and Congress, we see things usually just wallow in the political sphere and then they dissipate once the attention has faded. Rahul Gandhi has also been seen to jump between issues and move away once the traction kind of dissipates. Do you think that might happen here? Karnataka is one prime example where the kind of enmity levels between the BJP and Congress are very high. So the citizen, the common citizen will want to know, is it just going to be a fight and semantics and innuendo? Or will there be a factual investigation and an argument?
Well, I think that's the need of the hour. Factual investigation and details, both by the Congress party and also the EC should probably clarify because, like you said, small anomalies and discrepancies have been there in the electoral roll. Now that it has been pointed out, the proof should be whether this translated into electoral fraud because that's the charge. And this is having national repercussions. We are looking at international media as well, looking at this charge. Like you said, Rahul Gandhi no longer is just an MP. He is the leader of the opposition. When he makes a charge that is so pointed, it should be backed with a certain amount of evidence is what I feel.
Final comment from you, and I'll end with Mr. Ponnanna, but final comment from you, Anand, is yes, you're ridiculing Rahul Gandhi and saying, these are flimsy things. He has an attention deficit. This is his latest pet project because the last ones have failed. All sorts of things the BJP says about him. But as leader of the opposition, does it at the minimum warrant a look into our electoral system. Since these things keep coming up, whether it is EVMs, whether it is voter lists, whether it is IDs, the point that Deepak makes is also an important one. Maybe this is an opportunity for a larger bipartisan look at fixing some of these historical anomalies.
Yes, BJP has started that process 11 years ago itself. One nation, one election, which has just been passed, that is also in line with this. So Rahul Gandhi might be, showing up now and, coming up with a few pages of printouts. But actually, BJP has been working on this, and we are going to ensure that elections will be fair and fair as of now. It is already fair, and it will become more cleaner. The electoral registers will be more, as Abbas was telling, digitally maintained or something like that. It will happen in India, and it will happen under Modiji's leadership. You can't expect anything more from Rahul Gandhi. He can just, talk to a gallery.
So the reforms have already begun.
Yes.
R.K. Upadhyay, your final thoughts on this?
No, I feel, the electoral rolls...
Because the Bihar election is coming up.
Yes,
we have to remember that there is a big election coming up this year.
Big election coming up.
There are huge elections coming up next year. If it is left unaddressed, these are issues that will become dominant flashpoints in the conversation.
Absolutely. You see, everyone knows that the electoral, rolls are not pure, because there are anomalies, and then it's not very easy. People keep moving from one place to the other of this big, and then people don't, inform that they're moved from one place to the other. I mean, whose responsibility is to inform the Election Commission? It's on the voter. We don't do that. So this is one of the main reasons why it's happening. Of course, digitizing might help, in cleaning up this thing. But, one fact that everybody thinks, why is Rahul Gandhi coming up with this? He doesn't seem to be able to win any elections. Bihar election, do you think Congress has a chance? Kerala, do they have a chance? Assam, do they have a chance? No, probably this is one of the reasons why he wants to put the mud on the Election Commission before the elections are held. That is the impression that people get.
I will leave the final word to Mr. Ponnanna. Sir, a very common thing that is said, whether it was on social media, whether it is the rivals of the Congress party, is this is the Congress party pre-deciding the election results before they happen. They know they're not going to win in Bihar, and therefore they've created this issue to make the public think that it's a pre-decided result. How would you respond to that and the allegation that Rahul Gandhi lurches between issues and there is a credibility crisis as well? This, in my personal opinion, is too important an issue to ignore. But how would you address that?
Look, we can't expect anything better from the BJP. Every question raised to the administration is answered with personal attacks on Rahul Gandhi and his family. You ask them about Pahalgam, they'll say, what did Nehru do? You ask them about electoral voters list, they'll say, Rahul Gandhi, you can't expect better from him. There is no way that an administration and a government who has been elected by the people, if at all, in the natural course of things, answers to questions which have been raised. These are questions which are important in cleaning up the electoral politics of this country. If that is so, and backed by data, substantial data in my opinion, why are you shying away from as much as an investigation or an inquiry into it? And why is the BJP reacting like this? And look, if you are going to say you are going to get wiped out in Kerala, we have won the by-elections from the communists, and BJP is nowhere in Kerala. So let them not worry about Kerala and Bihar elections or the next Assam elections which is coming up. We will wait and see. Look, we have taken election results. It's the end of the day, the people's opinion. We got to bow down to it. But when questions are raised, being in government, being the Prime Minister and being the elected representatives of the people, you've got to answer them. You've got to come out with answers which cleans up the electoral issues and also answers to the questions that have been raised. Now, can somebody throw it away saying there is nothing in this when we are pointedly showing out how these registrations have happened? So in my view, the fact that they are defending this with rhetorics, with personal attacks against Rahul Gandhi, with attacks against the Congress party, shows that they are trying to hide something.
Okay. So the Congress says the BJP has something to hide. The BJP says the Congress has no better way to signal its defeat in the upcoming elections. And as Mr. Ponnanna said, personal attacks on Rahul Gandhi. Rahul Gandhi, in some ways, has made this his new issue before the big elections. But he's refusing to, go on oath as far as the documents are concerned or go to court. That might still happen. We don't know. As Mr. Ponnanna said, the next strategy is still being worked out. I think what all of us can agree on, before there are many disagreements, of course, is that some level of an inquiry must happen. Now, whether or not it happens and whether all of it gets drowned out by the, the noise of the political battlefield remains to be seen. But I think the public would like some answers, would like some clarity, would like some fact checks and rebuttals. Because if Rahul Gandhi is completely wrong and he's made a mountain out of a molehill or taken facts that are not correct, and even you will agree with that, then let the facts come out.
If he's right.
If
Now, right
he's
now,
right,
the facts out there, you know.
I completely agree. If he's right, then it's too big to actually ignore and sweep under the carpet. So why not actually meet it head on? Thank you very much, Mr. Ponnana, for coming out here. R.K. Upadhyay, Anand Gurumurthy, Deepak, always our crack reporter here, and Syed, my friend. Thank you very much. And as we sign out of this special broadcast, let me say that from here in the digital capital of India, something that Syed said struck me. We can say chalta hai for anomalies in our electoral system and say that we are a big noisy democracy and we've got so many people and therefore ye sab hota rehta hai, these things can happen. I beg to differ. I say that as a digital powerhouse, we should ensure a kind of zero error electoral system, because elections are too big, too important for a country that is on an upward trajectory. We should have as error-free elections as it is possible to have. And not only elections that are error-free, but elections where you cannot poke holes and nobody can poke holes. That should be what we'll be aiming for. Thank you all of you for joining us here. Thanks very much for watching.